Good morning to all my friends and family, and welcome to Jim's 5am Club. It's Friday morning and I'm harbourside, and as you can see, it's really busy. There are ferries moving in all directions, coming and going, and it's a day after my birthday, so thank you very much for all the kind wishes that I received via the phone, in person, via Facebook, social media. I really appreciate your friendship and your love. And what we're going to do today is we're going to kick off another book summary, another episode of Jim's 5am Club, and we'll see where it leads us. It's a very interesting book, and it's the 1001 vlog. And I've reached my target. I've reached my target in the time that I allocated for me to get here. So I just really can't believe how I've had the energy and the propulsion to keep on going. But 1,000 vlogs is no mean feat. So once again, thank you for all your support, and for those who have been with me for a part or all of the journey. What I want to do today is take us through a book summary, a really powerful, interesting book summary, something that we all need to be aware of and to incorporate into our skill sets. And the book is entitled Raising a Secure Child by Kent Hoffman, Glen and Bert Powell. So a triple authorship of a very important topic, an important book entitled Raising a Secure Child. And I guess every child needs the nurturing and to be raised in a secure way. But these authors take us on a journey and teach us a little bit more about the skills and the needs that we need to be cognizant of for raising secure children. So let me just go up here, because this is an interesting sort of view, seeing the harbour bridge and a ferry in front of us. So the authors talk about attachment, the importance of having a secure attachment, and they kick off the book with a quote which says that when attachment is secure, children are able to divide their attention between the relationship with the parent and the environment. So it kind of gives us a sense that children and all human beings need to feel attached and secure, because once they're attached and secure, then and only then they can use that comfort to be able to achieve all the things that they need in life. So the authors then acknowledge the sort of thing that I want them to acknowledge, and something that we've all experienced as parents, that parenting is challenging and we all make mistakes. We make heaps of mistakes along the way, but that's to be expected, and that's just normal. So don't beat yourself up as a parent if you've made some mistakes, because the authors acknowledge that it's all part and parcel of parenting. What a cracker of a day. As you can see, the breeze is coming from the southwest. We've got the full moon happening. We had the full eclipse of the moon 2 nights ago, and it's a glorious time of year. And I always say that the best time of year, weather-wise, season-wise, is always autumn. Autumn's the days, or autumn is the time of year where you can almost guarantee that you're going to have the blue skies, the pleasant sort of days, the magical moon rises, the magical sunrises, because it's just glorious. So let's continue along our little journey here. And the author then also goes on to say that each and every one of us, when we have children, we're not child care experts. A lot of us are doing it for the first time, and we're doing it under a situation of, I guess, duress, because you need to balance your relationship, you need to balance your career, you need to balance all the other competing sort of distractions which occur during those early years of parenting. So it makes it challenging indeed. But that's what makes it beautiful as well, because having the challenges is also mixed with all the joys of getting it right, getting it wrong, and adjusting along the way. So the author then kicks off with a formal point from this book, where they talk about how to form a secure attachment. So they say that knowing how to form a secure attachment with your children is necessary if you want them to be well-adjusted adults. So once again, we're I guess, guided to understand that to be well-adjusted as an adult, you need to have a pretty secure childhood. And if children are starved of that security from those early years, then what the authors are suggesting here is that it will impact them potentially later on in life. So for all the parents and carers out there, we need to understand and to appreciate that our contribution is paramount to the development of the children and the people that we have in our care. And we need to understand that whatever we do is going to have a positive or potentially a negative impact if we don't address it and manage it early in the piece. The authors then go on to talk about the fact that we as humans are all wired. We're wired from birth to attach to at least one person after birth, to at least one person, and hopefully more than one, but at least one person we need to attach to after birth in order to have a healthy sort of development and growth phase during those formative years. And that attachment, according to the author, needs to be secure for us to be able to develop both physically and emotionally. So the author then goes on to say something which is really interesting, and that is that bringing up children is more than just feeding them, it's more than just clothing them, and it's more than just giving them warmth. Children absolutely need both love and care. And what they've found over the years is that when they've gone and assessed orphanages, the kids in the orphanages grow up, of course, with the warmth, the care, the warmth, the clothing, and the food element, but they often lack the care element. So by not having the care means that the children in the orphanages are robbed to a certain extent of the important thing that they need in their growth and development. And you can probably pull a long bow and say that children who grow up in boarding schools, in boarding houses, which are, to a certain extent removed from that gentle care that they need, especially when the kids are very, very young and put into boarding schools from pre-high school. All of those things, as the authors seem to try and allude to, could cause greater problems going forward. So once again, the message is very, very loud and clear. Care for your children, love your children, and provide them with an environment to enable them to grow and develop into better adults. Because what they say here is that when a child's when a child's needs are unmet, there are problems that are created that follow that child through their lives. And what happens from a very young age if those needs, those connection needs and those care needs are not met, is that the child grows with stress. And when we grow with stress, in a stressful environment, when we feel stressed, there are all these hormones that are secreted into our bloodstreams, into our brain, into our mind. And the key one to be aware of is cortisol. Cortisol is a form of adrenaline that is secreted when we feel stressed and uncomfortable. And what cortisol does as a chemical is that it slows down our metabolism, it suppresses our immune systems, it actually damages to a certain extent our memory and thinking capabilities, and it slows down our whole system. Our whole development is impacted. Because what happens is that when you're fearful, when you're uncomfortable, you're in the fight or flight response, but you're also in the freeze response. So your body pauses, so to try and figure out what's happening in order to determine whether or not you need to fight or you need to flight. But that very, very pausing means that it suppresses and it slows down and it basically conserves all our energies, as well as our thinking capabilities, because you don't get to think rationally when you're stressed, because your body is on alert all the time. So all of these things impact your physical, emotional and mental growth. But it also, sadly, according to the authors, impacts our future connections and potentially our relationships with others. So that's the kickoff to the book, and it's quite powerful. It's a real punch in the face for all of us as adults, and it puts us and brings us to attention. But the next thing that the author talks about is how to figure out what to do and when to do it. And the author says that if you struggle to know whether to comfort your child or to encourage them to be more independent, use the circle of security framework, because this circle of security framework fosters balance between comfort and autonomy. So if you sit and think about it, they say that you should try and use the clock face of a clock to try and work out where a child is, with the 9 o'clock sort of setting being when the child is in its most secure, and the 3 o'clock setting is where the child is out exploring. So what the authors are suggesting here is when the child is at the 3 o'clock sort of stage where it's exploring, we as adults and carers need to be watchful. We need to be watchful and care from a distance, but we need to be following them also during their exploration to help them identify and celebrate their small wins and enjoy the activities that they're partaking in around them without guiding them, of course. The importance is to let them go, have a full rein, enjoy their autonomy, and what you can do is you can encourage them to do things. Encourage them, be with them, but let them experience things at the fullest so that they can enjoy and express their autonomy. And the 6 o'clock position of the clock, according to the author, is you need to be able to let them know that you're there for them, and to show empathy and connect with their feelings so that you can make them feel wanted and needed, and also to let them know that they're okay. So regardless of what feelings they're expressing, regardless of how they see themselves, that all of the experiences are okay and you can talk those out. And the last point from this authorship the last formal point to come out of this book is where the author acknowledges that we need to understand that we're not all perfect and we're all going to make mistakes along the way. And as we said, it's just normal. It's just normal as parents to drop the ball, because even as parents, as we said before, we've got lots and lots of challenges, because during those years of parenting are also the years of career growth, multiple friendships, appeasing and having a healthy relationship with your partner, with your parents, with your grandparents, with your friends, your family, with your work peers. It is a really, really busy and challenging time in all of our lives. So it's important to acknowledge and to understand that, and to not turn a blind eye to it. So the author, as we said that basically we're going to miss on occasion our children's cues. But it's an interesting time and an important time to know that even if you miss the cues, you can use that situation to improve the relationship and to repair the rupture in the circle. So the way we repair the rupture in the circle when we miss a cue, according to the author, is to acknowledge it with the child, and to understand and let them understand that and know that you didn't meet their needs in a certain area, and you simply apologize for it. Acknowledge and apologize for it, and to let children know that good always follows bad. So don't ignore the ruptures. Allow children to express their emotion and not to suppress it, and to talk it through. So I'll finish up now because my internet is about to finish. So thank you for joining me on this episode. We'll chat again. Take care, everybody, on this beautiful day, and bye for now.